Now, to illustrate further, we shall use an actual accounting system and make some entries here. Click on Journal Entry, and remember debit and credit? Debit is to plus, and credit is to minus. Before you record a transaction, you must give it a document reference and the date of transaction. Then, click on Credit because the shareholder gives away $100,000. Therefore, we have to subtract, that is to credit the shareholder account. For the remarks, we can put it as paid up capital and select the share capital account. Type S and you can see share capital. Click OK and we are done. Now, all you have to do is enter $100,000. That is the amount given out by the shareholder. The same amount of money is put into our bank account. So we want to add this same amount into the bank account. Add is equal to debit, so we click on debit, and now we have to select under the account code bank account. We search by code and select the OCBC bank account. The amount of $100,000 is automatically entered for you. So debit and credit means plus and minus. The account that gives will be credited and the account that receives will be debited. It is as simple as that. Kangaroo Accounting System will automatically generate this journal entry for you. Now, is this correct? We are now ready to proceed with our next illustration. We select the bank account and record our check payment. Remember to record the document reference first. In this case, OCBC.111222. Enter the date of the check and the remark. Well, this is for the purchase of stocks, so we can enter the remark as stocks for sale. Select the purchase account, because this is the account that receives the value. Select purchases and enter the supplier's invoice number. Remember, you are paying for a particular supplier's invoice. For the sake of simple illustration, we shall select the GST code as 0 rated. The normal GST rate is 7%, so we enter the amount followed by the supplier's code. Click on the Help key and bring the cursor down to the correct supplier, in this case, Fair Trade Corporation. Click OK, and we have selected our supplier and our GST amount is 0 because we have selected 0 rated. Now, we are ready to key in our next check number, which is OCBC 111223. Do you follow? Just enter the check number, followed by the date of the check and the remark. In this case, office furnishing. Simply key in a brief description under remark, and then we want to add this value to the furniture and fittings account. Type F, and you can see the account. Likewise, key in the tax invoice number, and if it is 0 rated, we select ZP for 0 rated, and we can then enter the amount, which is $100,000. You can enter a new supplier code and create a new record in our master file. Once this is done, you can save this master file recording by clicking the OK button below. So, we have entered the 2 records and leave it to Kangaroo Accounting System to generate our audit trail. This audit trail will show us the journal entries for each transaction. Now we will show you the debit and credit entries again. This audit trail is automatically generated, and you can see the account that gives is the bank account, so it is credited. Subtract. The account that receives will have to add the value, so we add $30,000 into purchases account. Likewise, furniture and fittings account is debited, and the OCBC bank account is credited with $10,000. Simple? Now we shall look at the general ledger and see what we can find recorded in it. Remember, the general ledger is the kangaroo enclosure with all the kangaroos inside. So you can see the first kangaroo, the purchases account, and then OCBC bank account with all the history of the transactions recorded, with a net value of $60,000 left in the account. All the transactions are reflected in each of the accounts. You can also see the furniture and fittings account, as well as the share capital account. All these accounts are at one place, the general ledger. You can think of the general as the home for all the accounts. Now, what about the trial balance? Remember our trial balance? Yes, when we arrange the kangaroos into 2 columns with positive values to the left and all the negative values to the right, you get the trial balance like this. The important thing to take note is that when you add up all the values on the debit side and compare that to the amount on the credit side, it must tally. Now we shall record our sales for January with our cash sales journal. Again, we have to assign a document reference followed by the date. So, under Remarks, we key in sales for January and select the account code Sales Account. Then, we will credit this account because the sales account is giving away the $100,000 and putting this into the bank account. So, we have to add debit $100,000 to the bank account. Debit means add. Search by code and select the OCBC bank account, and you can see our sales collection of $100,000 is debited. Again, you can see that the system will automatically generate the journal entries for us. Is this correct? Credit sales account and debit OCBC bank account. Yes, accounting can be really fun and easy if you understand the basic principle of double entry and if you have a simple and effective system like the Kangaroo accounting system. Just sit back and relax while we take you into more examples.